Okay, so in the last video I did on the Nano-Air light vest, I went over kind of the specs of the jacket. It was kind of more of that like, here's your information on the jacket, here's what you need to know. Well, now that I spent a lot of time with it, I've got kind of more of my thoughts on this piece. So here's kind of my short-term review of this vest. So for starters, I've got to say that this vest has become easily my most used mid-layer. I use this mid-layer for like practically everything, from trail running to mixed climbing and dry tooling and ice climbing. Like it's just with me at all times. And honestly, I've had a really weird experience with this piece in that one of the times I was out climbing, I just kind of forgot that I was wearing it. And that's pretty much what you want from a piece of gear like this. You kind of want to forget that you're wearing it and you don't want it to get in the way. And that's definitely true with this piece. Like this piece just does not get in the way. It just works. It works efficiently. It really does just work. And so it's been pivotal in my layering system recently. Like I generally pair this piece with like my Capling Air base layers underneath, and then I have like this and then the shell. Like that's it. And it works great for ice climbing. Like I never get too warm and I never get too cold. I'm always just the perfect temperature for climbing. And that's awesome. And like in previous years, I was using, you know, like a vest that was insulation in the front and then like fleece in the back. And at first I thought that this was going to be too much because it is a fully insulated vest. It's 45 grams throughout. But it is Patagonia Nano-Air insulation. So it's breathable and the fabric is breathable. So you never get really too warm in this. And that's really noticeable when I've been trail running in it. Like it's just, you just expend a lot of heat, but it doesn't build up underneath. You don't get that moisture buildup. So it's really cool to see this jacket in action. And like I said, for climbing, it's awesome because during the climb, you never get too warm. Like sometimes if you have too much of like insulation, you could just get a little too warm on the climb because climbing kind of, it expends a lot of heat, but it's also great because it just kind of takes that edge off while you're belaying. Like I can go a lot of times without a belay jacket just because I have this warm in my core. But I mean, the big thing with that is just focusing on your base layers. Like I said, I use Cap Air, so that's kind of Patagonia's warmest base layer. So just keep that in mind when you're layering with this vest. Now, because I was talking about layering, I've got to mention the fit. The fit of this vest is, I think, spot on. It's not too tight, it's not too loose, it's not too bulky. It just fits great. And for reference, I'm 6 foot and about 170 pounds, and this is how it fits on me. It's definitely long enough for me, and it's just overall, it fits great. This fit of this vest is awesome. And like I said, it's not too athletic, it's not too slim. And the nice thing about this is there's no restriction in it. And that's, I think, partially due to the Nano-Air kind of series, whether it be the vest or the jackets, they have a little bit of like mechanical stretch in them. So like, as I'm like dry tooling or mixed climbing, like there's no restriction. Like if I'm going for like a high tool placement, I don't feel like this pressure down on my shoulders. Like it just moves with me. So that's awesome. And overall for durability, I'm really impressed with how it's holding up. I mean, like I did say, this is kind of like the piece I've been reaching for the most, so it's been getting the most action out of all of them. And so far, it's handling everything pretty well. And part of me thinks that's due to the fabric being updated compared to the previous Nano-Air fabric. This one was almost like a ripstop fabric, and it seems to be a little bit more durable while also being a little bit more protective and breathable. And it's apparent on this. Like, I've slung my tools around my shoulder and I have no punctures. I've kind of grazed up against some rocks and there's no abrasion on it. Like it's just holding up really well. And even if I did like puncture it, it'd be super easy to repair. I mean, like you slap on some tenacious tape and then like boom, it's repaired. So at least with Patagonia stuff, they make it super easy to repair and to have like a long life with. So it's really great to see that this jacket is holding up to a lot of abuse recently. So to kind of wrap things up, yeah, this piece is amazing. I'm so glad that Patagonia came out with it because it really is like one of the most perfect mid layers. Like it just, like vests in general are like a great mid layer, but sometimes they can have issues. You know, if you have the wrong type of fabric, if you have the wrong type of insulation, is it too bulky? This one just kind of seems to fix all those problems. And it's not like it's like a minimalist vest. Like This vest has hand pockets and a chest pocket. Like, it's a full-on vest, but it works really well. You know, in those alpine environments, it's amazing. So I know for the foreseeable future, this piece is going to be a staple in my layering system. It's what I pretty much climbed with this whole season, and I loved it, and it's what I'm going to climb with continuing forward. And I'm just going to be wearing it all the time. I mean, we're in spring right now, and like right now, this is great to have on. Like, my core is nice and warm. But yeah, that kind of does it for my kind of short-term review. If you're looking for more of a video that kind of goes over all the specs, I did make a previous video on this vest, and I'll link it. That video is kind of a good one to go over, just kind of, like I said, the specs and kind of the numbers of this vest. With that being said, if you do have any questions about this vest, feel free to leave a comment below. I do have kind of a little bit and a lot of time with this vest now, so I should hopefully be able to answer your questions. With that being said, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.